Please welcome to the stage, Ellie Kime.
Right, just indulge me 1 second, because as soon as I got this microphone, I wanted to do this, okay? Hey, yeah. Okay, I've had my Britney moment. Thank you very much. Goodbye. No, I'm joking. Too kind. Okay, so, hello. The biggest fight that my dad and I have ever had revolves around the city of Doncaster, if you've not been. It's a city in South Yorkshire. It's where my granddad was born. Not that that's at all relevant to the story. Just want to give a shout out to my granddad. That's what Kirsty did. That's what I'm doing. Big up, John. Picture the scene. It's 2011. One Direction were on X Factor the year before. They didn't win, a crime that we still think about this to this day. But they're just about to release the most hotly anticipated single of summer 2011. I am post-GCSEs, and I think, do you know what would be a good use of my time? Going to meet them outside a radio station in Wakefield. And it was, I have no regrets, it was the best time of my life. Liam called me babe, I nearly died, it was sensational. I'm not just here to brag. We then realised that on the same train home, we could get off at Doncaster, go and see them again outside a different radio station, which, separate story for a different day, was good because in the taxi I had deleted my friend's photo with Harry Styles. And it was on a camera, not on a phone. There was no recently deleted. We nearly broke up over it, friendship-wise. It was awful. Anyway, we were going to go to Doncaster to see them again. I rang my dad, and he still to this day disputes this fact, but I know what's true. I rang him and I said, this is happening. And he was like, okay. And he maintains that I didn't ask. Anyway, I went to Doncaster, I came home. It was genuinely the biggest fight we have ever had. And it is a story that has gone down in Kime family law to the point where every time I get on the train and I change over at Doncaster, which is frequent because it's on the way back to where I'm from, I take a picture just to irritate him with a sign. This is the most recent one. He really loves this gag. It's not getting old at all, considering it was years ago. Another one for you. You might, I mean, if you don't recognise these people, we've lived very different lives. This is One Direction. At all their auditions, they auditioned separately, then they came together as a boy band. But you know when you're recommended to do your phone password and they say, do a 6-digit number, but don't do a date, a memorable date. As a rule following 15-year-old, I was like, okay. But then I was like, what numbers do I know off by heart that are 6 digits? I'll tell you exactly what I knew, One Direction's audition numbers. I am not joking. Thank you for the clap of pity, I really appreciate that. It gets worse because I'm not joking. So this is 2011. This is still my phone password now. Not only is this my phone password, I'm being so real with you, this is my PIN number. Whenever I need a memorable number, it's this, and you're on the phone when they're like, can I have the second digit? I'm like, I have to go through the bloody audition numbers. I am telling you this in confidence, please don't nab my phone and just try, because you've got a 1 out of 5 choice. And finally, if you're like, okay, Ellie, this is great, lovely stories, but this is ancient history. It did happen 10 or 11 years ago, more than 13 years ago, which is horrific, because in my head, 2011 is maybe 5 years ago. Here's a picture of me losing my tiny fucking mind at Harry Styles in June. My sister is so done with my shit that she's checking her Apple Watch to see if we can go home yet, and I'm having what can only be described as a religious experience with Harry Styles. Horrific, absolutely. When we got the photos back, I was like, oh my God, they're going to be so cute. No. So, all of this to say, I have proven credentials as a professional fangirl. Now, if you're more of a science fan, tough crowd, I also run a business called The Enthusiast, and I wrote my master's dissertation on fangirls. So I have the expertise and the experience, but what I would say is that enthusiasm often trumps them both. So, today I'm here to teach you 4, if I remember them all, quick lessons that we can learn from being a cheerleader or a fangirl. Number 1 is, there's nothing wrong with liking stuff. I'm going to say it again, there is nothing wrong with liking stuff. So often we are told that there is something wrong with it, especially if it's something that people think is embarrassing. But, and this is very similar to what Kirsty was saying, if I can flatter myself, just exactly the same as Kirsty. It's a judgment that other people are making. Who decides what's embarrassing? It means something that's not cool, but who decides what's cool? Generally, it's like, and hopefully you never had this experience, but if you did, it's like when you got bullied at school, and your mum would be like, oh, it's not about you, darling, it's about them. It says more about them. And you'd be like, okay, that's great, but I'm still getting bullied, so like, how is that helpful to me? But she wasn't wrong, to be fair to the lady. Generally, it's because people are jealous of you, or unhappy in their own lives, or insert other problem here that they definitely shouldn't be projecting onto you, but they are. And I'm not saying this because I am immune to this. One of the things that I think about often is like the phrase basic bitch, which I used a lot a while ago. Then when I actually thought about it, calling somebody basic is just saying that they like common stuff. That's not bad. What I was actually saying was that I was jealous of them being very comfortable in liking stuff that's fairly popular, whereas I was always striving to be the most interesting, the most unique person in the room. She says, having started with One Direction, who are maybe the most famous boy band in the world. But so it's just, there's nothing wrong with liking stuff, even if it is embarrassing. Another lesson we can learn from fangirls is taking joy in the small things. It doesn't have to be something huge. It doesn't have to be anything really zen, like raindrops on roses or whiskers on kittens. It can be really plain things. And this is what I call enthusiasm as a general attitude, whereas before it was kind of the things that you were known for, so you're the One Direction girl or the High School Musical girl or whatever. The little things instead, just general enthusiasm for life. Nothing exemplifies this more for me than Yellow Car No Return. Does anybody play Yellow Car No Return? I bet you all do, because honestly, on the drive here, 7-minute drive, I saw about 5 yellow cars, and I wasn't driving, so I was just like, Yellow Car No Return. I'm so sorry, I hope you can hold the gears, I'm so sorry. For those of you who don't know, Yellow Car No Return, or Punch Buggy Yellow, as I think they call it in America, crazy, anyway, is a game. The rules are very simple. When you see a yellow car, you punch your friend on the arm and you say Yellow Car No Return. The no return is very important, because otherwise they can punch you back, and we don't want that, that's violent. You can also play it with Mini Coopers. Mini Punch No Return is a great little one to slip in there. That brings me loads of joy. It makes me notice the smaller things in life. I saw a Mini Cooper the other day, a yellow Mini Cooper, double punch, absolute dream scenario, and it had little stickers of ducks on the side. I probably wouldn't have noticed that if I hadn't have been planning to punch my partner. Don't take that out of context, put it on the internet, guys. But I loved it, and that general enthusiasm will serve you far, I think. The next thing is that you don't have to be good at something to enjoy it. And I know this feels illegal. You know that trend that's like what feels illegal but isn't? Doing something you're not good at feels illegal. It's like, no, I'm actually not allowed to do this. Like, somebody is going to come and have a go at me. Not true. As long as you're not trying to, well, I mean, even if you did want to make money off it, you can keep getting better. But you don't have to be good at something. If you enjoy doing it, that is good enough. Which leads us on to another thing. You don't have to monetize your hobbies. Again, illegal. It does feel horrific to think that that is true, because then if you think like back about your entire life, you're like, oh, I certainly am. Oh my God, what have I missed out on because I didn't think I was good enough, or I thought I was going to fall flat on my face, or I needed to get something out of it that wasn't just pure enjoyment. So, my final thing to you is, I've got another slide, but I can't actually remember why. So, does anybody remember the staples button? And you hit it and it went, that was easy. And you remember that? I literally cannot remember why that's on there. So we're just going to move, just leave it out there. Just pretend I said something really funny. Guys, stop it. Thanks. If it comes to me at some point, I'll let you all know. In the middle of Catherine ran, I'm like, sorry, Catherine, so sorry. The staples button. Anyway, the final thing I have to say to you is that you should not diminish your love of things or your love of life. I genuinely, when I started The Enthusiast a few years ago, I wanted to start a movement. And I don't think that's how movements are supposed to start. Like, I don't think that's how they go. But I really do believe, and every year I check in with this because it's quite a big statement. And look at me, I'm white, I'm middle class, and I'm cis. I am primed to peddle some toxic positivity. Like, I'm very well aware of that. So primed to like package up some Eastern spirituality that's rooted in something and then just be like, but buy it. But I really don't think enthusiasm is toxic positivity. I think it's pragmatic optimism in that it is as essential in an activist's toolkit as it is in somebody who isn't that involved in activism. So please never feel guilty for liking stuff. Like what you like, don't diminish it. And then also, again, like Kirsty was saying, we help encourage it for others too. So if you're looking for something to chat to people about today, you can always come find me, I'm like over there somewhere, and tell me about something that you love. I will not judge you. This is just a little story for you. I once was at a party and spoke to a guy for an hour and a half for his physics dissertation. I dropped physics so early, but he just loved it so much. It was great. Anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, give it up for Ellie Kime.